sounds out of place. But I'm over
Oh
here.
man.
I'm over here in the group like, dude, just trust Ridley Scott, bro.
Yeah, like he got it. Like don't even worry about it.
Just trust him, bro. He's got
Don't.
something going on here.
Yeah, he's gonna take care of it. He gonna do his job.
You're gonna be like, people are gonna be like, I don't know, man. Maybe someone did talk like that back then.
Is he like the Beyonce of acting?
Wow, right?
Yes. Is
We
he like
talked
he
about
does
that
like
on an
one
episode.
drop and everybody's like, oh my
Yes.
god, Denzel, and they're gonna feed off of it, and then like the movie's gonna come out, and then like we need more Denzel.
But also, he can't change his accent, right?
Huh.
But at the same time, like those cities were like metropolitan, so it was like a bunch of people from a bunch of different places. So
Yeah.
But he's the only one with like a Brooklyn accent.
He was in that. He was in that Hamlet film, or was it Hamlet?
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
like-
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, it was
Othello.
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 It was
Yeah.
Othello.
He-
Yeah.
And he
He
sounded like
sounded-
he
And
was from New
but-
York.
Listen, it's Denzel. Okay.
Yeah, but you know the
You
movie.
just let him be.
rocked. The movie rock. People.
But
loved it.
nobody even bats an eye. It's like,
Nobody
he
can say
doesn't
anything.
have an accent.
What's up, everybody? This is your girl, Nicky Trendz.
I'm Manny Oso.
And you are listening to your favorite 15-minute podcast, Bubble Bath Stories. And as you can see, we have a special guest with us, high school alum. That means we all went through the trenches together.
Yes.
Class of 05, baby. Marq Wharton. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah. So, like, first and foremost, we are having conversations about what it's like to be a teenager now versus how we were teenagers.
Yeah.
And the idea of like, could our teenage selves survive being a teenager now? And the reason, one, that it's so great that you're on the show, Mark, is because once again, we all went to high school together. And the other thing is that what's kind of your perspective from it?
You want the long or the short? So in the long, for me personally, the short answer is no. I couldn't survive.
Not at all. What do you think would have been the hardest?
I think the hardest part is just how overloaded with stimuli would have been. Like
Yeah.
there's so much data and the internet. I think I would have been a dumber person, honestly.
Your attention is definitely thrown.
Like I wouldn't have any
through-
reason to pay attention because I have AI and I'm gonna AI my way through school and
Yeah.
But like, come on, you gotta admit though, like,
I mean
it is kind of cool. Okay?
having the internet
Come
is
on.
definitely a gift and a curse. It would have been amazing to be able to like be at pep rallies with
I think
Yeah.
I think it's a bit of a curse to these kids though, because you got to think like they are growing up in a world that they don't know the world without that. Like,
Yeah.
The second the switch comes
Yeah.
off,
yeah.
you know.
I mean, I always say that I was born in the wrong generation. I feel like I should have been Gen Z
Yeah.
because the fashion from when we were in high school was like terrible. And I'm so mad that it's coming back. I'm actually like
Oh,
upset
yeah.
about I am upset about it coming
Let's
back.
talk about that for a second.
Okay, so
I'll be
what
honest, I couldn't dress
parts of
back
the
then.
fashion
What happened?
don't I think what part of the fashion trends do you not want to see come back?
You know those stupid chokers that you could really only wear once. Okay.
With the zigzags? The
Yes,
one
yes.
that-
You could only wear
Bro,
those things once,
I
guys.
have seen people over here walking around in Jinko jeans.
Oh
Jinko jeans
yes.
they need to stay dead.
The wide legs are back. Okay.
I'm an advocate for triple XLTs dying forever. We don't need those coming
Oh.
back.
No, the ladies are
triple
now
X
taking
tees.
over on it. That's the ladies'
The la-
things now.
The ladies
There's
are wearing oversized tees.
Oversized tees
I
with
feel
the
like-
bicycle shorts.
I feel like they're really gonna run out of stuff if they start doing the long t-shirts again.
What do you mean the long?
The long ones.
The dresses.
Yeah. But like short dudes were wearing them too. Like,
Yeah,
it was a
exactly.
fashion thing.
And they were still dresses. They were still dresses.
I was caught in one once, and I felt like a douche.
Why? Because it was like you didn't have like
Well, I finally saw myself in the mirror, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe they let me buy this."
I can't believe they were selling those. Like you could get 4
It is pretty
t-shirts for
nuts,
like
yeah.
$20. Like, but yeah. Anyways,
I
Well,
mean,
it
that's
started.
just
It started because like a basketball player was making it hot, and so like everyone who was tall at school was wearing it, and so as an attempt to be cool, getting into the conversation, as an attempt to be cool, I bought that one, and I felt like a fool once I got to school.
Was it like how long were the sleeves?
The sleeve, that's the
elbow
problem.
length.
Everything was
They'd be
regular
like,
size. It was just long, and it went past my knees. Yo, my parents.
that's crazy. Past your knees is crazy.
What fashion trend did you try out in an attempt to look cool?
Oh man, I would say sagging. Like I wasn't a sagger. It was never comfortable. Like I'm
Yeah.
pulling up my pants constantly. And then you couple that with the tall tee. I'm pulling up my shirt and my pants to sit down. Like what?
Yes.
Like this is not probably. And I don't know if you did this, Manny, but like we would wear the basketball shorts under the pants.
Yes.
We'd have on our underwear. Then you have on like mesh basketball shorts. Then you
Yeah.
have on your 44-inch waist pants.
Because it was the athletic look. Like I was on my
Because
way.
you never
Like,
know.
like I don't gotta get ready because I stay ready
I
to
stay
ball.
ready. Like that's
Yeah,
exactly. It
that's
was ball is
ridiculous.
life.
But here's
Ball
the
You guys are
here's the ridiculous
privileged.
thing. The fact that people like you and myself were probably specifically coordinating the colors.
Oh yes,
go with-
absolutely. The
That was the
short
nuts
had
thing.
to match. You
This
couldn't
much of
have.
the clothing was showing. It had to match with everything, though.
I mean, men had such little back then in fashion. I'm happy that you took that extra step, if I'm being honest. But like, you guys sound like people who grew up with washing machines. Like, that's some privileged shit that you're just wearing. And we lived in Florida, by the way. We lived in El Tampa, Florida. Okay, you guys
Talking like people with washing machines.
layered on top of that, like your poor
Yes.
mothers, your poor mothers.
Was there any fashion trend you regret trying?
Yes.
What do you regret trying? And
I
who were you
did.
trying to impress?
I always dressed like a tomboy, so I wish that the girly things I would have been interested, if I'm being honest with you, because I didn't get into it until the later years of my life. But if I was a teenager now, I feel like I would be more feminine. Like I would be into makeup and doing all that. But I would say that I did try the jersey dress trend, and I felt self-conscious because I wasn't quite filling it out the way some of the other girls at school were filling it out.
It doesn't look like the East Bay magazine.
But I thought I looked cute. I would say that I did start the trend of sneakers and dresses. So everybody in Florida, you're welcome, because I bought that from New York. I used to get made fun of for that.
Yeah,
for wearing sneakers and a dress. Yes. I'm a trendsetter.
There you go.
So that was real.
The fashion choices were tough back then.
Yes.
But could you deal with the fashion choices that the kids are expected to have now?
I don't think I have the
cost.
body confidence.
Like the cost also.
That's true too. These broke people are label whores. I don't know how their parents keep it. Like
I didn't realize how expensive like just stuff was these days.
Yes.
Like I keep it simple. Okay.
Yes.
I keep it simple. Maybe 1 or 2 designer things ever, but other than that, yeah. I mean, these kids are wearing designer to school.
Is it me?
Balenciaga shoes, $450.
Yeah,
we were just talking about that.
$230.
We
The
were
shoe
just
drops,
talking.
yeah.
We were just talking about that. We saw some kids going to class with what was it, Louis Vuitton and
with bags that were like,
Marc Jacob bag, and I was just
but
like,
like,
huh?
but like
Purses?
purses,
Yeah.
like
As their
purses.
book bag, like as their book bag.
And we were talking about how like it's nuts that like imagine your kid walking out with a $500
Yep.
Louis Vuitton bag,
Treating it like a jam
treating
sport.
it like a jam sport. Yeah.
But like, their parents are
I would have been the
us.
butt of everybody's jokes.
The thing that makes me wonder, like I don't feel like sneakers, like shoe drop stuff, the way shoe drop culture is right now was as big back then. Because I've seen the
Big,
lines
but it
out here.
was nowhere near as big
It
as
was,
it is now.
yeah.
And I mean, like
You could always just go to the mall and go pick up a pair of fresh shoes
Yeah.
and not have to worry about like, oh, they all sold out. Like that was never. It wasn't that big back. It was big. Like people would go and wait in lines, but it wasn't. It wasn't like it is today.
Speaking of shoe drop, I remember this one freshman. Let me tell you about this one freshman we went to school with. And I don't know if you guys ever caught me in the hallways, but like I was very particular about my sneakers, and if you stepped on me, it was like a Spike Lee joint. Like I would just see red, and so it didn't matter what day it was, what period it was. Once a fucking day, he would just be the one to step on the back of my shoes.
Oh yes, those would have been.
It was just, and I would turn around and he'd just be like, like he's a freshman, and like, yeah, like it's like punching a puppy in the face. Like you can't. But I remember him in my mind. Like if I saw him in the street, like I would get PTSD and and throw my sneaker at him.
Literally, like
yeah,
you have to remember that was a whole child who probably had a crush on you.
No.
And doesn't know how to effectively communicate because he's an 8th grader. He's an overgrown 8th grader.
No, definitely wasn't. That kid was scared of me. I think he was just like he almost looked like, damn, why I had to be here? Why I had to be hurt? Like it was a mutual
person who didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
Just aimless through life, like, sorry, get out of the way before you hurt somebody. You're a menace.
I can get that because the stress to have just a decent pair of sneakers back then was pretty nuts, to be honest, because I did find myself as the type that to know what to purchase. I honestly never even had my first pair of Jordans until I was maybe 23, 24.
Yeah.
And so back then I just wore whatever I could get my hands on. But now, like the shoes that kids are wearing, these are like $500 sneakers that are only available for a certain summer. It's like,
like if you don't get it while it's hot, you're not going. It was so much pressure, and like you, I had an older cousin who would hand me stuff down, and it was like, oh, I'm about to stunt when I get to school with this shirt on. Like I remember distinctly, I was like, oh, when that gets too small for you, yes, that's gonna be perfect. I need that. So like growing up, like not having it, like not having money to have this is when Sean John was new, and these new clothing, like I would have been ass out. It would have been over.
Well, no, I don't think so.
Well, I'll say the way that kids like are so fashionable today.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been in how expensive, like my parents didn't have money for the stuff I did have. Like there's no way I'd be able to handle the way that they, the culture the way it is today.
I mean, I will say though, thrifting has become so big that that wasn't a thing
back then
when we were in high school. Like you had to have new shit.
Like if you mentioned you went to a thrift store for your clothes back then,
oh, you was getting clowned.
Yeah, but like now it's almost like, oh, you got that at thrift store? Oh, that's kind of cute. Oh, what thrift store? And then they wind up going and and it's like they be finding really good shit.
And it can't be just Macklemore because I don't even
No,
know if
it
he makes
can't
music
be.
anymore.
No,
It can't because they were like in
no.
8th grade when Macklemore came out, or not
Yeah.
even, right? Like 5th grade. I don't even fucking know. That was about long.
But thrifting
It's huge.
changed the game too. So, but I think that kind of goes to like I don't want to say the cost of things, but like things were cheaper, so you didn't have to thrift as much. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a good point. There was more variety in stores.
Opening up my third eye.
You had a story word, though.
Oh yes. Okay, so now that we're getting in the rhythm of things, I can tell you the story about how I came to this. But so you won't think I'm a terrible person. I had to like soften the blow. So a couple of years ago, Manny and I were at a party that my cousin was throwing, and he had a friend that came who I guess we went to elementary school together. That's what he said. We went to elementary school together, and I didn't remember him because it was elementary school, and like I'm the type of person that if you're not kind of in my everyday life, I don't know who you are. And so he remembered me though, and he I don't want to say that he said I was a bully because I don't remember that he said I was a bully exactly, but he did say that I did make fun of him about so why are you making that face?
Yikes.
That I did make fun of him about, I think it was his sneakers or a shirt or something. And he was like talking about how I was like allegedly hanging out with the cool kids. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. And like, obviously, I'm joking about it and I apologize because I was like, oh my God, what a little asshole. Like, I'm sorry. That's terrible. Right. Yeah. And like, Manny makes this joke about how we met and how I was his high school bully. Which I once and for all.
Okay.
Stop it.
There seems to be a trend here.
Hold on. Let's put a pin in that story. Now that we have a third party here, I need somebody to vouch for me or at least open my eyes. Because I feel like any beef I had with him was because he deserved it. Because this guy's got the smartest mouth ever. Like I'd be like, oh, now it makes sense why you got bullied. Like it's your own fault. But can you please, for the people,
put
the story to
rest? I can't put the story to rest. I can't. I would be lying. Now, Nikki, I would say that you were very rough around the edges.
I still am, unfortunately.
I wouldn't say that you were a bully towards me because I ain't play that, but very, very rough around the edges.
But like, still fun.
Yeah,
you were more Spinelli than anything.
Yes.
Like,
yeah, you were only cool. Funny your own kind.
Yeah, like, but you were definitely Spinelli.
You know what? Whatever.
Yeah.
See?
You know what?
And that's okay because you're working.
I know it's okay.
I mean, sticking on the subject, I gotta be honest. Like when something, it's crazy to hear people talk about the things that they remember, negatively like that. I'll be honest. When I was a kid, younger than high school, even, I sometimes think about the way I was as a child and how I interacted with people and some of the messed up things I probably did. And I don't mean messed up like I killed anybody, obviously. But I mean more like the way we know about psychology and manipulation and how people use manipulation for abuse, the things we know about it now. And like I think about like the past and like, oh, man, one, I know I didn't keep the best company in an attempt to be cool. And two, if it rubbed off on me, I think about it too. I think about a specific thing when I was like in middle school and I was just starting, it was like 6th grade. And I stopped being friends with a kid to be friends with cool kids.
Oh my God, Manuel.
I feel terrible about it. Obviously, we were just kids, and it's not like I was the guy's only friend.
Yeah.
But when I think about it, it's like, I can't believe I was such a little asshole back then.
I believe it.
And I
That's
always say, if I had a
crazy.
kid who was a bully, I would be like, "You are grounded."
I mean, but here's the thing, right? When that guy was telling me the story, I felt horrible, obviously, which also showed me, oh, you're an involved person. You're obviously not the same person to make fun of someone, like, for their shoes or whatever. But in my mind, I was just like, well, there's no way I'm a bully, because how I was thinking about it was based off of today's standards. And to be quite honest, I'm not in that world. I'm an adult now. I'm assured of myself. Like, I could pop off if I need to. But I've never been a teenager now dealing with bullying. And so when I started thinking about it, I was like, oh, I like later that night told Manny about it. I was like, well, he remembered it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't deny somebody else's. And I mean, he may have remembered it incorrectly, but
Right.
it was
That's his
him it was an early memory that has
Exactly.
stuck with him for a long time.
And
Exactly.
he was
So
waiting to see you to
Yeah,
tell
I
you.
mean, yeah, I mean,
or he saw you and he instantly was reminded of that memory.
yes. I mean, it was a
So
super chance encounter. I
yeah,
never run into people that I know. But like that's also kind of what brought this on, because, I don't think I could, I never, yeah, I was rough around the edges, but I don't think that I was aggressive unless I needed to be aggressive.
but at
And
the
like,
same time, you were you were kind of a transplant. So
yes,
it would have been it kind of sometimes felt like a defense mechanism more
yes,
so than you like being overtly like
yes.
callous towards people. It was more so like, I ain't from here and maybe I don't even want to be here.
I
But
should not. I
so,
did not,
it
y'all.
was definitely like, I'm definitely reminded of those vibes as well. So I think you got to just take it with a grain of salt. You can't,
Let me ask
you
you
know,
something. Do you
fully digest
think?
that like all on you.
Right? Yeah,
Do
yeah,
you
yeah,
do you
yeah.
think you maybe have done anything as a kid that may have affected other people or a person? You don't gotta say their names.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I
um
feel like we were all at some point little pricks.
yeah, no, I definitely feel like there's a particular kind of like story where, and I don't want to make mine the on the other side, but like I kind of got a chance to witness people be, mean to
Yeah,
someone
it's nice
else,
to see
and
that.
then like went out of the way to be like deliberately nice to
Yep.
them. Um, and I didn't really have any intention on like building a legitimate friendship with this kid. Um, but things, one thing leads to another, and it's like, oh, okay, this kid is pretty cool, and so it's on the flip side of you guys' story. But then
Yeah.
there's also times where um, I can recall just being a kid and just being so easily not manipulated, but easily
Mm,
like swooped in with the crowd,
Yes.
and that like group think mentality, or
That hive
Mom
mentality.
mentality.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
mob mentality. And so there was this kid, right? And I went to middle school. I went to Orange Grove Middle School, and I just remember I was in a summer school program between sixth and seventh grade, and there was this really little, small, really like really frail white kid, and but he had such a loud mouth, and he was just yipping at the mouth one day, and um, he's like a lone white kid. He didn't have a lot of, and he just started saying some words that were not, yeah,
Of
like bro, like you by yourself. Like I wouldn't be dropping N-word amongst all these big old brothers. Mob mentality is when you get swooped up into something like that, and that's something that like one of those memories. It's like if I ever saw this kid, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry we jumped you in that bathroom.
Yes.
I am so
Yes.
sorry, and like that was terrible.
But what if
And
he
I
learned his lesson?
Well, maybe he did learn his lesson
Maybe he
because
did learn his
Like,
lesson,
what
yeah.
if you?
But that doesn't make it right.
that doesn't make
what we did.
I mean,
Like,
but he could have learned his lesson.
2 wrongs never make a right.
Can
How
I-
about that? We can say that.
We can say that.
I mean, it is. I will say there was someone from our high school who I felt bullied me, and he's fat now, so I feel
mean,
great.
if we can
I'm
be
so glad that
honest,
we've all kind of like maintained
you
our
know,
figure.
what I want to say is though, if we can be honest, like as much as you like what you just said before the story, that there as kids we were very easily manipulated into following a group.
Yeah.
Well, we know, man, this kid could have been easily manipulated to think it's okay to say that under pressure.
Very true.
Very
true.
He was completely surrounded, and he felt the only defense he could. We don't know who made him think that's okay to say.
Yeah,
we were all kids.
Very true. That's
because
very
I know a lot of people who they really, since they've been children, have turned a completely different leaf. Because we were fed a lot of lies as children.
Oh yeah.
And we use those lies against our own
against
the
each
people
other.
we went to school with.
Yeah.
So, like I said, 2 wrongs don't make a right. But you probably did scare them into, humbleness.
I think what's more important is that nobody had a good, high quality camera phone during that time to take. Like, I think every day, blessings to these children who want to be on camera all the time, who do dumb shit and record it,
incriminating themselves.
Yeah, I don't pick up a law book, watch Law and Order, do something.
Yes,
let's better.
Let's go back to what we wouldn't be able to survive. Yeah, the camera's everywhere. Yeah, bro. Can I get some peace?
There's no way.
I would have never been allowed to leave my house.
Yeah, you can't write up everybody at school for doing TikTok dances, right? Eventually, you just gotta be okay that everybody at school is doing TikTok dances. You can't write us all up, right? But I don't think I can't do one of those TikTok challenges. These kids are doing all of them.
In the hallways and
yeah, bro.
And this is why I'm saying I don't think I would be able to survive. I don't.
I actually think I would be I feel like my teenage self, if my teenage self transported here in 2024, she would be left behind. Yeah. Because I know that we talk a lot of shit about how their attention spans, but these little motherfuckers, a lot of them are hustlers in different ways that we would have not. Yes. They made video gaming a job.
A career. Mark, would you agree that the pressure to succeed as a child is high right now?
Yes, that is true.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would be dumb.
I would say the pressure to succeed is higher because they see it they see it in themselves and they see it in those who are younger than them consistently. So at 16, 17 years old, you got kids that are making millions of dollars at 5 and 6 doing toy reviews on YouTube.
Yeah, I feel terrible about my look. I couldn't even speak. Look, my dumb self is already coming out.
Ryan, like that, yeah.
Every time every time someone's younger than me is just doing life the way life should be. I'm just
the lemonade stand thing is a joke right now, but kids are succeeding. You could have a whole the craziest things right now.
You could literally. This was something that wasn't possible for us. It just there were some things that we just didn't have access to. Yeah. And having the ability to order donuts or order lemonade off of your phone, have it shipped to your house, have an AI generated logo, banner, and all this stuff, and create yourself a lemonade business at the age of 7 is right right here, right on the power of your phone. Like
the
these
only app we
Lucky
had was like
bastards.
music, like Napster kind of stuff, you know. The apps these kids have to do the things that they're doing right now, it's too many. I can't even deal
I
with it
just
all.
feel like my
there
teenage
are
self
kids
would.
who know how to operate and like make like they're little movie makers.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah,
TikToks are little movies.
yeah,
yeah.
You're using CapCut and all this
yeah.
post editing software.
I feel so stupid when I watch someone's YouTube and they're like 23 and they're telling me how to do basic things, and I say, no, this isn't supposed to be
And
me.
and for that
To
reason, I
fold this
don't hit
fitted sheet.
follow. You know?
Like, no, I'm supposed to know everything.
I mean, there's a lot of podcasters out there, and it makes me sad to think there's a lot of podcasters out there younger than us, and they got thousands of
okay?
hits.
Thousands of oh
Millennials
my
help us out.
gosh.
Yeah, all right.
Or
Please.
a famous person help us out. Just come on the
And not
show.
even just the legal stuff. There's this documentary series on HBO that we saw that
Oh, yeah.
Generation Hustle. I talk about it all the time because it
Oh my gosh.
that
I
you seen
just
it?
felt like no, I haven't, but just hearing about it gave me anxiety, like I'm not doing
Yeah,
enough.
bro, they talk about all these young kids pulling these hustles and these scams that like adults are like, how did you do that?
I mean, they obviously
Keeping
they
the
get
money,
caught.
getting away with it,
Yeah.
getting caught. Some of them keeping and getting away. That's the stuff that they're doing.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Again, I don't know, but I still feel like I should have been born in this generation, if I'm being honest.
You feel like you should have been born
now.
like post
Like,
9/11?
yeah. Yeah. Because like they just have like so much fun.
I don't know.
Like, I don't know, it just feels like, yeah, some
I
of them
think they
suck,
definitely
but
are a freer generation. Like
yeah, they're just
I
like,
feel like they're a lot
oh,
more like clear thinking.
yeah,
To a
yeah. Like
degree.
there's just something about, like, I know we pop off here a lot too. Like, you know,
I
they're a
feel like
pain
the
in the
freedom
ass.
to be just who you are in all facets is
Yes,
so much more acceptable today than it's ever been, because there was a lot of like prejudice and judgment if you
yes,
were too out there
yep,
when we
Yeah.
were growing up.
yeah,
So I think that like just the ability to express yourself in a multitude of ways, it would definitely be a lot of fun to grow up with, again, the technology to create. And
absolutely,
you guys
yes,
are content creators
yes,
Yeah.
already, so to just have access to all of that, at a younger age, I think that's also why you have these kids who are doing so much at so young, at 20, in their early 20s, in there, because they've been doing it
yeah,
for a long, like they kind of like developed with the skill of like learning how to make movies or YouTube videos or whatever.
They grew up
um
in
they grew because it's always been there for them,
yeah.
but we
But
kind of laid the foundation. But
I mean, but I will say that, I don't know. Like, there's just still such as maybe they're not as dumb or lazy as we think that they are.
Was there a point in your childhood that you think you were officially being bullied?
Ooh.
ooh,
When I first moved to Florida.
Yeah. Speak your
really?
truth.
Yup. Let me tell you why. It
Speak
took
your
me
truth.
like 3 weeks to make a friend, and then like those people turned out to be jackasses. And then like 8th grade was like really weird. I got in some major trouble. And then I just couldn't wait to get to high school. Like high school, I felt adjusted, so it took me so long. I didn't really have any friends. Like, people made fun of me because I was from New York, as if they've never met anyone from New York before. Like,
Yeah.
I was some kind of alien, which was like wild.
When I was in middle school, we would always play basketball before school started, right? Because they would open up the courts, and I always felt like they would never throw the ball at me, like on purpose. Like, I really felt like at the time I was like, what? Like, I don't understand it, man. Like, I'm being nice. I'm not like a bad person.
Nice.
I'm being nice. Like, I'm not
Pass me the ball.
like
Oh
I always
man.
felt like that felt like I was being bullied, you know? What do you think? Yeah, you ever felt that?
Well, if I would say if that's as worse as it got for you, then
No, it's gotten worse.
got it all,
yeah, it's been
early in the
worse.
conversation.
Okay. Oh, okay. I feel like my early bullying, kind of like developed who I was as a person.
Yeah.
So I don't like have a resentful kind of attitude towards it, but I distinctly remember being bullied for just being dark skinned, like growing up.
Yeah.
I would probably say first grade through like all through elementary school, in middle school, and then by the time like high school came, because you're exposed to so many more people, it was like you couldn't joke with me. Like it wasn't, you don't want to have this war because I'm going to like snap back at you all day long.
Yep.
Turn it into a session, and that's not smoke you won't.
Yeah.
So, not like I had a particular bully, but like the jokes were there.
Yeah, I felt the same because I recently started getting into my Mexican heritage, but back then, like I wouldn't really speak about it because I went to a lot of white schools before high
Yeah.
school, and me and my brothers, we stood out, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
You
Puerto
you were
Rican.
just the New York chick.
Yeah, like, sorry, guys.
The New York
Sorry, guys.
Can't relate.
Yeah,
No
sorry.
PTSD over here.
Like, sorry, it's not snowing.
Well, you know what's funny is that our school was international studies, right? But
Yeah.
like,
Yes,
there was
yes,
nothing
yes.
international about
Not
it at
a
all.
single
It
fucking
was
thing.
like, the regular mix of Puerto Rican, Cubans,
It
Mexicans.
was international because they also offered French as a second
As a
language.
study, as a language.
Not a one motherfucking French person in that
Not a
bitch.
single French person.
Oh man, Mark, thank you so much for being with us. Please let the people know where they could follow you or just
Yes, you
hang
can
with
follow
you.
me on Instagram at Marq Wharton, on Twitter as the same, or X. I don't think I've actually ever called it
No,
X.
it's
It's
Twitter.
Twitter. It's Twitter.
It's Twitter.
At Twitter, it's the same. Marq with a Q, MarqWharton.
Awesome.
TikTok is actually Mark Wing Duck. So.
Mark Wing Duck.
Oh, how clever!
That's pretty clever.
You know. And obviously we'll have all that info in our show notes. If you guys want to know what we're up to, you can find us on Instagram, TikTok, or Facebook.
You can find me at Got No Time for This.
At Bubble Bath Stories. You gotta let me finish that first.
My bad.
And then
you can find me at Got No Time for This on Instagram.
And you can find me at Nicky Trendz on IG. And if you're looking to cop some official merch, you can go to our website, bubblebathstories.co. And if you're looking to vent or tell us a secret or complain,
or maybe tell us how terrible people we are,
or tell us who your bully is, and we'll
track them down. You know, maybe confront them online.
We'll confront them on there. Be like, son of a bitch. You can call our hotline at 347-878-1144. Mark, thank you so much for joining us. And duckies, until next time. Bye.